Hello again. I'm old enough to remember the general election in 1964, in which there was a huge swing from Labour to Conservative in the town of Smethwick on the edge of Birmingham. Those supporting the Conservative candidate, Peter Griffith, coined a catchy slogan which suggested that if you wanted a certain ethnic minority as a neighbour, then you should vote Labour. Such an electioneering slogan might not be as successful in the area these days, of course, since there are now twice as many black and Asian people combined as there are whites. The largest ethnic group in Smethwick, at 24,000, are people whose families' origins lie in the Indian subcontinent, almost entirely Pakistani and Bangladeshi. By comparison, there are only about 17,000 white people living there these days. The many people of Pakistani and Bangladeshi heritage living there are soon to have a public monument which will celebrate for all time a certain type of conservative Islam. This is to be an enormous and utterly ghastly bust of a woman wearing a hijab. The statue has been executed by a white man in what looks to be a vaguely cubist style. It and its creator may be seen in the thumbnail to this video. I was somewhat bemused by what the sculptor had to say about this strange piece of art. In the description to this video, I give a link to a news piece which carries his views. Luke Perry said, "The strength of the hijab, which is the name of this sculpture, is a piece which represents women who wear hijabs of the Islamic faith, and it's really there because it's such an underrepresented part of our community, but such an important one." Underrepresented in the Midlands. I would say that you see quite a few hijabs in that part of the country. It seems that they need visibility. It's so important. Why? So working with the community to come up with the designs has been really exciting because we didn't know what it was going to look like until now. Is the man who produced this 16-foot high piece of work weighing a tonne really saying that he didn't know what it was going to look like? Has he been working with his eyes shut or wearing a blindfold or what? Then we get this piece of nonsense, which really is doublespeak. There are a lot of people who object to the differences that we have in our communities and would like them to be more divided. But the future of our country is about what unites us, not what pulls us apart. The very act of wearing a hijab that actually divides the wearer from the rest of the community, from the rest of civil society. It is not at all about uniting the country. It is about setting up a separate way of life and establishing a community which will be different from everybody else. That's more likely to pull apart the country than anything, I would have thought. This whole thing is, of course, a reaction to the pulling down of that statue in Bristol 3 years ago. It has been decided generally that statues in the future should, if humanly possible, not represent white men, but rather ethnic minority women. This is part of a trend which I think we'll be seeing more of in the coming years.